Hi everyone, I'm JT, and today I'm taking out the time to tell you guys thank you for getting me to 250 subscribers. That's a bit of an achievement for me, and it's hard for me to imagine that out of the 8 billion people in the world, there's around 250,000 of you who like what I do. It's also a bit of a comforting feeling too, knowing that I'm doing something that I love and there's somewhere out there that enjoys it. So to celebrate the occasion, I figured I would sit down and tell you guys a little bit about myself, how I got started, and what my plans are for the future of my channel. My story begins in a small city in the southeastern United States. When I was in middle school, around the year 2013, my dad brought home a video game that would change my life. A wonderful DS title called Sonic Classic Collection. When I played these games, I instantaneously fell in love with the art, gameplay, and most importantly, the music of the classic Sonic games. Not too long before this, my family had just acquired our first computer, an old Toshiba satellite. I know, ancient. But after hearing these songs from the original games, I looked online for more music on, of course, YouTube. And it's there where I met my first inspiration ever, a YouTuber by the name of The Legend of Renegade. It's upon hearing this guy's remixes of my favorite songs that sort of jump-started something in me, saying, I want to do that. I want to make my own music. So, in 2014, a year later, I downloaded FL Studio and started just messing around and learning things on the fly. I figured out how to use a SEGA Genesis sound font, and I took off from there. I have to thank him, because if it weren't for him, I wouldn't be making music today. So if you're out there, hi, and thank you. I'm a big fan of you and your music. You make some really good stuff. Keep up the good work. So fast forward a few years, and now I've started making some music. Some of them were attempts at original compositions, while others were just basic remixes. Eventually I got up the courage to post my music on my own YouTube channel, called Tales64. Over time, I had gotten to know the names of some big MIDI artists, like John Weeks and Monster ISD. But the big one for me was King Meteor. I like the way his MIDIs over on VG Music are composed, and they're still my go-to when making some songs nowadays. I later subscribed to his YouTube channel, and in 2018, he started making these Sonic CD-style remixes of non-Sonic CD stages. So, levels like Green Hill, Chemical Plant, and Launch Base got the Sonic CD style of 4 timeline treatment. I love these arrangements a lot, so one day, I mustered up some courage, put a comment on his latest video, and asked, hey, I want to make some Sega Genesis covers of your songs. Is there any way I can go about doing that? To my surprise, we swapped emails, chatted for a bit, and I eventually made covers of those same songs using his help. So, if you're out there, KMS, thank you so much. It was you who skyrocketed my old channel, and you're still a major inspiration for me today. I hope we can continue working together in the future. In 2019, though, I had a bit of a tragedy. My old account, my old YouTube channel, got hacked, and it really did some damage on the trust that I had in me. It also really made me think about the importance of cybersecurity. And of course, in my haste to distance myself, I deleted the old account before backing up videos, changing passwords, and stuff like that. I really regret that decision, and if I had been a little bit smarter, I probably would have done things differently, but hindsight's 2020, it's no use to me now. Later that year, though, I rebounded and came back to YouTube with a newly made channel, still as Tales64, at least for a little while. Speaking of 2020, that's the year that I graduated high school, which was a really big achievement for me. Shortly after this, though, I started having problems with my mental health, and if any of you guys may remember, I had a bit of an identity crisis here on YouTube. Hell, at one point, I had changed names like I changed clothes. Eventually, though, I found one that stuck, and it's the one that I'm using right now, which I hope will stick around for a lot longer, at least one that's longer than my old legacy of Tales64. My modern inspirations today are the ones that helped launch me to where I am now. Along with the two I previously mentioned, Carpathia 808 was the guy that got me into oscilloscope views for chiptune music, using a program called SidWiz. And Savage Regime, oh, that guy absolutely shreds on the Sega Genesis. Personally, I think that every Genesis musician nowadays wants to sound as good as he does. I've also got to know a little bit about some smaller chiptune channels, people like Fave, Urwork Clockworks, Obvious YM, and Igor G, just to name a few. Some of these smaller chiptune channels have teamed up and formed chiptune bands, like Obvious YM's Yesterday's Musicians and Igor G's Independent Squad. All of these guys are really cool, and I suggest that if you like any of my stuff, you'll really like their stuff. So thanks to you guys too. And really, I want to say thanks to all of my inspirations, for if it weren't for you guys, I wouldn't be where I am today. Now, I'd like to talk about the future of this channel, or at least my visions for its future. Don't fret though, you guys are still going to get music and content. I plan on doing that as long as I live. I mainly have three things that I want to work on. Firstly, I'd like to get in the habit of uploading a bit more regularly. My main problem is that I'll make a video, and then I'll make another one, and another one, and another one, until it all piles up. And then, when I do eventually upload, I listen to the older stuff I made and I go, you know, this stuff kinda sucks. I could have done a lot better. In other words, I want to be a little more consistent, and if not that, at least not waiting 5, 6, or 7 months to upload more content for you guys. Secondly, I'm always striving to be more accurate and precise in my covers, rearranges, and even originals. So, on the back burner, I've been trying to learn how to use some new programs, mainly a tracker called Furnace and a new oscilloscope program called corrscope. Corrscope is working wonderfully, but it's going to take some time for me to transition from FL Studio to Furnace, so bear with me on that front. Finally, I'd like to spend some more time with you guys. I've been starting to tinker with the idea of live streaming and how I could make a setup that would make that a possibility. I'd love to hang out and have people come, watch, and listen to my work process, show you guys how I do what I do. Plus, I think it'd be a lot of fun. So, to conclude, I'd like to just take a moment to thank everyone again. My inspirations for pushing me to always refine myself, my close friends and family who encourage me, but more importantly, I'd like to thank you, the viewer. Because if it weren't for your likes on my videos, your willingness to see me progress, and your comments, both heartwarming and constructive, I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be where I am right now. So thank you. Thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed my content so far, and I look forward to the future, where bigger and better is sure to be around the corner. I've got some projects in the works, and who knows, maybe at 500 subscribers we can do this again. And maybe, just maybe, if I get to 1,000 subscribers, I might do a face review. But that's in the future. Ultimately and unfortunately, I'm bad at predicting. So, if you're watching this and you haven't yet subscribed, go ahead and hit that big red button. The subscription is literally free, and if you like my stuff, why wouldn't you want to get notified when I make more stuff, huh? Of course, if you're interested, visit the main page of my channel, where all the channels that I talked about previously are mentioned there. I also have a SoundCloud account, where I post the rearranges and covers that I think I did a really good job on. It's kind of like my own music portfolio, if you will. That'll be linked in the description of this video. Okay, I think that about wraps things up. Until next time, I'm JT. Thank you for listening, and thank you for 250 subscribers.